Yeah, skills to learn when coming to Canada. Yeah, the first one I would like to talk about is, and I want you guys to note that, these are skills that would actually do you a lot of favor, as in it will do you a lot of good if you have these skills. As a newcomer in Canada, you need to have these skills. Else, you'll be spending a lot of money. And also these skills, these are things that you can be do. These are skills that you can have that can also help you to earn additional income in Canada. So without talking much, let's just get into it. The first one I would like to talk about is basic troubleshooting and being handy. If you go online right now to check for how much you'd need to pay an handyman, I'm just going to go look at my screen now and search. So I just did a search for handyman, and I tell you, so let's say you need someone to help you fix your furniture, you need someone to help you set up your desk, you need someone to help you in your house. You're going to pay a lot to do that. So coming to Canada, just trust me, you need to be handy. You must be handy. You must be able to, put things together. You should be able to use a basic screwdriver and all that, So that's number one skill that you need coming to Canada as a newcomer. You need to be handy, right? And the second skill I'd like to talk about is painting. Look, so let's say you've just gotten a new apartment and you need to paint. If you go online to search for how much someone is going to come, say you're looking for a painter or someone to come into your house to help you paint your house, you're going to pay a whole lot. It's so expensive. In fact, some painters would actually charge you according to the number of walls you have in your house, number of rooms, of course. And it can get so expensive, So you need to learn painting. At least you need to know how to repair your drywall. In Canada, you probably already know that they use drywall in Canada, not concrete walls. So drywall is like, it's very thick cardboard, so to say, but it's not cardboard, it's very thick. It's called drywall. You must be able to, you should learn how to repair it, when you, if you rent a place, now an apartment, your landlord is going to do some sort of inspection before you move in, and when you are moving out. So if you've done anything on the wall, or you have kids who have written stuff on the wall, you have to repair that before your landlord comes for inspection. Else you're going to lose your deposit. So a very good tip, a very good skill that one should have is how to repair drywall and painting, right? Number 3, this one is very important: driving. You need to ask my wife how much she's paying to learn how to drive in Canada and all that. It's a lot of money, right? Driving is a survival skill in Canada. It's a very important skill. You should learn it before coming here. Else you're going to spend a lot of money learning how to drive in Canada. It's going to save you a lot of money. It saves you the cost of, if you learn how to drive before you come to Canada, it saves you a lot of money in training. It also helps you, gives you opportunity to take some side gigs like Uber Eats, Skip the Dishes, and all those delivery side hustles that one can use, to make some bucks in Canada. Number four is making hair. Look, making hair and cutting hair costs a lot in Canada, right? Especially in the major cities. Say you are living in the Greater Toronto area, you're going to be spending between $35 and $70 to cut your hair. And to make your hair, if you are a woman, you're going to be spending $100, as high as $200 to actually braid your hair. So that's, making hair is one major thing that you should learn to do. So if you're a guy, you should learn how to cut your hair. So for example, I don't cut my hair myself, right? But I have reduced the number of times I go to the barbershop. Ordinarily, from back home in Nigeria, I go to the barbershop maybe every week or every 2 weeks. But now in Canada, I can't afford to do that, right? I can't afford to be shelling out $50 every week just to cut my hair. So I get to go to the barbershop once a month. And in between that period, considering that I'm very hairy, I try and trim my hair by myself and try and maintain it with my own clipper, so it saves me a lot of money. Now imagine if I also know how to cut hair. Well, I know how to cut hair because I cut my son's hair, and it's usually very good. Maybe not excellent, but it's not bad, and that saves me some money. Yeah, of course, the money you save from cutting your hair may not be enough for you to buy a car, but at least it's going to save you some gas money, So that's for guys. And for ladies or people who have long hair, you'd be nice to learn how to make hair. You can make a lot of money making people's hair, and you book appointments. In Canada, everything is by appointment. So you have somewhere where people can book appointments. They can book you to come to you to make their hair. You'll be making a whole lot of money. Once again, ask my wife how much she spends to braid her hair, Yeah. And talking about women and hair and all that, another skill you need to learn how to do before coming to Canada is makeup. It's going to save you a lot of money. Makeup, so you see people going to parties, especially in summer when there's so many parties, so many owambe for people to attend. Makeup. If you know how to do makeup, you're going to be making a lot of money. Yeah. Do makeup, make a lot of money. Right. Number 6 is tailoring, or making alterations to people's outfits. Look, it's a big deal. It's a big business, Anything that actually caters to immigrants like yourself will make you a lot of money in Canada, because sometimes even buying a new clothes is cheaper than making alteration on your clothes. So imagine that opportunity. It's an opportunity if you know how to make clothes, or you also know how to mend clothes. Look, you'll be cashing out on irregular, right? Number 7 is plumbing. I can't even stress this enough. If you live in, for you to call on to a plumber, in fact, let me check if maybe I'll be able to see something that shows. If you go on Kijiji and you search for plumber, for a plumber to come to your house, you can't spend less than 120 Canadian dollars just for them to leave wherever their office is or their store is to come to your house. See, all of them, they are saying reasonable, best prices. It's a lie. If you call on any of these plumbers to come, maybe you have a clogged drain or something, you won't be spending less than $120 just for them to come to your house. The fact that they are even leaving their own place to visit you, you'll be shelling out at least $100, So plumbing, how to change your faucet, how to fix a clogged pipe. For example, I had to actually fix my a pipe on my HVAC, and calling a plumber to come fix that, or an HVAC technician, which would have cost me at least $129. Yes, I looked it up. It's $129 to get them to come, So I watched something on YouTube, watched a few videos, and I was able to get it done. Well, it's the simplest of tasks, but if I had called on anyone, it would have cost me a lot of money, right? Number 8 is cooking or baking. I've actually made a video like this before where I spoke about people who cook for parties and all that. There's a very popular one in Toronto. I won't mention her name so I don't give her free publicity, but look, she's always selling every week she's doing so well, and especially if you know how to cook. So learn how to cook or bake before coming to Canada. You're going to make a lot of money doing that. Number 9 is for everybody. Basic tech skills. You want to know how to use Excel, because I don't know what type of job you want to get that you won't be using Excel, though. I can't think of anyone. You need to know how to use Excel. I was talking to someone, trying to prepare someone for our interview some days ago, and I felt bad when I realized I had to explain how to filter. Well, she got it right, but basic things on Excel, you must be able to do it. So you want to know how to use Excel. You want to have basic tech skills. There are some applications, some software that shouldn't be strange to you when you hear them. So that's one major skill, and I'm sure there are so many tech learning services out there that offer training, especially for you to get jobs in the tech field. So take advantage of that while you're waiting to come to Canada. Use your time to learn a tech skill. Right. Number 10 is photography. And when I say photography, portrait photography, event photography, weddings, and all that, learn it. You make a lot of money. And it would also save you a lot of money. For example, I take some of my family pictures, and having to get a photographer and book a studio and all that would have cost us a lot of money. But we take our pictures in the house. I set up my camera, my tripod, and take some shots. And luckily, I also know how to edit, at least minimally, my pictures. So I get to save some money doing that, right? Number 11 is social media. Learn how to use the social media very well, because it helps you. It helps you to actually, one, you can make money on social media. So if that's your thing, sure. And it also helps you in networking, and getting a job, meeting new people, learning new skills on social media. That's a major thing that you have to rely on. So learn how to use social media. You don't come to Canada and say, oh man, I'm not a social media person. You don't want to be that person, right? You have to be a social media person, right? Which also takes me to the next skill, research skills. As new immigrants in Canada, we quickly realize that information is power, right? Knowledge is power. So what you don't know, you don't know. So you need to learn how to ask questions, how to look for information in library, online, wherever, Research skill is very important in Canada. I can't even stress that much on it, right? Number 13 is communication and selling skills. See, if there's something you know how to do or something you can offer, you must be able to sell yourself. You must be able to communicate it. It's a big deal in Canada. Communication skills, it's a very big deal. And especially if you're working in corporate, oh boy, you need to be able to communicate and sell yourself. In Canada, just take it from me, it's a big deal. Communication and selling skills. You must be able to sell yourself. So if you have some services that you can also render, or you have something that you know how to do very well, you must be able to communicate your idea and also sell yourself. It will go a long way to help you as a new immigrant in Canada. Number 14 is auto repair, or at least motor vehicle maintenance. You get, if you don't know where your air filter is in your car, go on YouTube now and search. Or if you, of course, I know it's not everybody that wants to change their engine oil by themselves or their brake oil, but there are some basic maintenance that you want to know how to do when it comes to your car, so that you will be able to save some money when you get to Canada. Things like your tires, you should be able to, do some level of maintenance for yourself. Your air filters and all that. Some basic things, your washer fluid. Some basic things you can do yourself that you won't have to go to the dealership or the oil shop. They will charge you heavily to do it. And for example, you go to an auto store where they charge you, say, $100 or about $70 for air filter, and you realize that air filter doesn't really even cost up to half of that. So what they are charging you for is the fact that they are going to do it for you, and what they are doing is not even something you yourself cannot do, just that you don't have the knowledge or you don't have the information. So learn a bit of auto maintenance or vehicle maintenance, right? Yeah. So that's it, 1 to 14 basic skills that you should learn before arriving in Canada as a new immigrant. If you enjoyed it. Thank you, and I see you in the next one. Bye-bye.